Shared passwords and credentials are still a challenge in modern organizations, but really they shouldn't be. With LastPass, you can increase the safety of the shared passwords by having an in-tool sharing system that prevents passwords from being leaked into other systems or third parties getting access. You can even implement visibility, reportability, and centralized control of those passwords, which is important to reach compliance standards or certifications. And last but not least, LastPass can improve the security of shared access by the ability to change shared passwords on a regular basis and even add a shared second factor to all of the sites. Hello, I am Peter van Zeist, and my role is Staff Solution Consultant for LastPass. And in my role, I am supporting our business partners to connect the dots between their business problems and the integrated software solutions we at LogMeIn are offering. Welcome to today's Mastery Moments Product Insight edition of LastPass. In this episode, I will tell you how LastPass shared folders can make your organization more secure and more compliant by preventing credentials from being leaked, and even by increasing the password strength and adding a second factor. Sharing passwords is an often overlooked topic when talking about password management. Also, it's sometimes understandably a topic IT security experts try to avoid, and therefore they don't include that into the design and implementation of their software security systems. But not talking about a topic doesn't make it disappear, and can even often lead to significant security threats for organizations. According to a survey we did, in fact, 95% of all people share up to 6 passwords with others, including financial, business, social media, entertainment passwords, and also despite of the majority of the people acknowledging that it's risky to share passwords. Most shockingly, only 19% of respondents say they don't share passwords that would jeopardize their identity or financial information, which on the other hand means that 81% of people who would share those passwords. And 61% of the respondents even said that they are more likely to share work passwords than personal ones. Without a secure and easy to use password manager like LastPass, passwords are mostly shared verbally, via pen and paper, via texting, or via email. All those methods convert previously possibly secure passwords into untrustworthy secrets and leave no room for constant password changes, and also prevent the use of a second factor, mostly because this can't be shared the same way as the password itself. In addition, on an organizational level, it is crucial to have a centralized control over who shares what with whom and who used which password when, in order to get certifications or to be compliant to regulations, even like the GDPR. Also, don't underestimate user lifecycle management. What if a user changes his role, doesn't need access to one set of passwords, but therefore needs others? How to do this efficiently and, of course, securely. So if the reality is that we need to share passwords, then how are we to share them safely with others and keep our passwords secure? Of course, with LastPass shared folders. So let's find out how this works. At first, I would like to show you how end users experience shared folders. Shared folders are embedded into the end user's vault just like every regular folder they have access to in their environment. Shared folders only are marked with the word shared in front of the folder name and on the far right named shared folder. Everyone can only access these shared folders he has actually access to. And of course, a user can search all items, including the ones in shared folders, through the search functionality on the top. Also, all sorts of items can be stored in shared folders, including website passwords, addresses, payment card, or even server credentials or database credentials. This particular shared folder is shared between the user's IT department and 3 individual users. By using groups and/or individual users, admins have a great level of configurability and flexibility in giving access to shared folders. Groups are, for example, great for departments and general roles within the organization, and because those groups might get updated through a directory integration in the backend of LastPass. But more about that in a second video. Single users in a folder are therefore great for work groups and flexible projects. But also a mixture of both is often used because a manager might have elevated rights in a folder and might become the administrator in a folder compared to his employees, which are added over a group. Different groups or users can also be given different access rights to a folder. For example, read-only rights, where a user can only read and use the credentials stored in a shared folder. The administrator, who can manage the access level and access rights, who has access to a shared folder, and the hide password checkbox. The hide password checkbox hides the passwords from the user, only giving him access to the password in an autofill scenario over a website. This can add another layer of privacy and security to a password if an end user doesn't even know it anymore. With the credentials now stored in this folder, the admins now do not only have full control over who has access to which information and manage the access rights, all users can now also participate in updating these credentials on a regular basis, allowing for secure and not too old passwords. Because, of course, all entries in a shared folder are constantly synchronized between all the members in a shared folder. But not only that. With shared website credentials, you are now also able to share a second factor for a website. For example, if you wanted to protect your login to the GitHub repository with a second factor, this would have required you to share a phone or token with your coworkers, something that is not possible for distributed teams. So oftentimes the second factor for such websites are not used, even if they are offered and would add a significant amount of additional security to the login process. This feature supports all websites that use general TOTP generators, just like Google or Microsoft Authenticator. LastPass will generate the 6-digit code from then and provide it to you during the login process, no matter on which device, and to all users in a folder. But now, let's switch over to the backend of LastPass, to which only LastPass admins of a company have access to. First thing here is that the admin can see all shared folders over the whole organization, giving him a comprehensive overview over everything that has been shared. In addition, he gets a brief overview over the security of the shared items with a green to red traffic light system. If needed, he can get additional information such as the users who have access to a shared folder, the security score with the issues the passwords might face in a shared folder, and the apps who are stored in a shared folder. So he will have an overview over who would be able to access credentials and which credentials are possibly affected because they are weak. All of this is very handy in case of certifications or compliance. Finally, admins also have access to the reporting of LastPass. This reporting gives an overview over which user accessed which credential and when. And with this, it is possible to prove when a shared credential has been accessed by a specific user. This takes away the part of the anonymity shared accounts would usually have, and will give you a hint on which actions in a target system a specific user has possibly done. Let's have a quick recap of what we've just seen and heard. The safety of shared passwords is crucial to the security of the entire organization, and they won't go away. In fact, that many organizations think their employees don't share passwords is a sign that they don't have systems in place to track and regulate that sort of behavior. But closing your eyes to a problem is never good. With LastPass shared folders, organizations do not only have a secure method of sharing credentials across the entire organization, it also gives them ways to improve the security of the passwords. LastPass highlights weak passwords, and because we synchronize the credentials automatically among all devices of all users, you can rotate and change these passwords, and the likelihood is high that most of the users won't even notice. In addition, you can finally add the often recommended second factor to all those tools and let them benefit from this extra level of security. Last but not least, we learned how important it can be for organizations to have control over the user lifecycle, to have detailed logs about who can access which credentials and who performed which actions and when, not only to comply to regulations like the GDPR. I hope you found this Mastery Moments episode useful, and if you did, so please click the like button and consider subscribing to our channel. If you also click the little bell icon, you will be notified that you do not miss any future Mastery Moments episodes, in which we will give you more insights on how LogMeIn products can help you solve the challenges your business faces. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Until then, I am Peter van Zeist, and keep your passwords safe.